Hi, everybody. My name is Rich Hashimoto. I've been teaching here for like 16 years now. Our program's actually one of the root uh, programs for Laney College. Laney College started out as a technical school, and welding was one of the principal programs there. So we've carried on the tradition. We actually have a very good program for people who are interested in welding. Um, Most people have not tried a lot of welding though, and that's very different. I would encourage everybody to at least try the class. I cannot guarantee that you will fall in love with it and become a welder as a professional or want to do it, as a career. But a lot of people will do it as a hobby. But I can guarantee you that it'll be the funnest class if you ever take it. We actually set things on fire on purpose in a very controlled environment, and you can learn what to do for welding. But it's a different type of skill, right? It's more like, the analogy would be like learning an instrument, and in order to attain that concert level ability, we have to practice a lot in order to get to a point where we can actually weld as a profession. But we can provide that some of that training, and then you'll also learn a lot at work if you go into the field. Even if you do not like the actual welding, or you feel that you don't want to do the welding as a career, there are other industries around welding that you could also do, right? Like selling of equipment, selling of welding gases, inspection. All those things are related to um, our core skills of welding. We have good partnerships with the machine shop, and one of the programs we have also is the industrial maintenance program, which Adam will talk about, and our other machining program. Both go hand in hand with welding. We teach mostly manual processes right now. Uh, GMAW, also known as MIG, shielded metal arc, also known as stick, TIG welding, also GTAW, flux core welding, and oxyacetylene welding. We are expanding our program to also include things like metallurgy and inspection, and we hope to have those up within hopefully a year from now. But you know, it's a career. I think it's something that everybody should try, and whether or not you want to do it, that's a different story. But my biggest thing would be to say is to sign up for our Welding 205, which is introductory to welding. And we actually go through all those processes I mentioned, and you get to try all of them for a couple of days. And actually, like the GMAW, you spend quite a lot of time uh, learning how to do it, so that if you wanted to go get your own little rig at home and work on some projects and those kind of things, it would be really good. Our outlook in our industry is very good. We are estimated to have about 100,000 jobs still in the next 5 years that need to be filled. And a lot of that has to do with the exodus of a lot of baby boomers. The average age 5 years ago was like 55, 56 years old. So there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to exit out of the industry. Even though some areas have shrunken, other areas we just need people, and especially things for infrastructure. So places like East Bay Mud, PG&E, uh, are some of the areas that will actually need some welders. There's not going to be a ton of welders that they need, but they need some good people, and getting those skills would be really important. The other areas of growth are things like the iron workers and bridge work. There's going to be a lot of repair work being done in the next 5-10 years for infrastructure. And California, fortunately, we've had a lot of growth, especially in the tech area. But across the nation, there's a lot of opportunity too. So not all of it's going to be here in California. Some of the things that are emerging here, though, is a lot of manufacturing, and things like laser welding are going to become a big deal. But all the wire processes, especially flux core, are in play right now because they're highly efficient, and the welders get paid pretty good. You can get paid though anywhere from minimum wage all the way up to $100,000 a year on a regular salary. A lot depends on what type of work you're doing. Um, some of the jobs, though, with overtime, you can get over $150,000 a year. But that's not to really incentivize you for the money. Just know that those are opportunities that are there. So more of the jobs are like toward the middle, maybe around 70 to 50,000. Um, but again, it depends on how hard you want to work and what you want to do. But it's all value added. So if you can weld really well and you can produce, it will make it very easy for you to earn a living uh, as a welder. A lot of people assume that there's a quote welding union. That's usually not the case, but a lot of unions will have welding as an integral tool. And some of those would be like the iron workers, as I mentioned, the pile drivers, the pipe fitters, and boilermakers. All of those use welding as a skill. Other industries that might have welding in it, though, are even HVAC. They do a lot of brazing, not so much welding, but brazing and soldering for the refrigerant lines. Uh, Automotive repair, a lot of sheet metal repair. Um, those kind of things are always come into play. But it's used extensively in manufacturing, and then the big thing is that automation is going to be a big deal. But I would encourage everybody to try it. I can't guarantee, like I said, that it'll be a life-changing event, but I can guarantee it'll be the funnest class that you ever take. Um, and our staff here, especially in the introductory class, we want to give you that experience to try it out. And if you want to take some more classes, that's great. We have, after you take the introductory class, we have classes that are dedicated to each of the welding processes, and you can just take a class, for instance, in GTAW, which I teach, the TIG, and we have like 4 classes. So if you just want to get proficient in one process and not get the certificate, we have a lot of people do that. But most people get the certificate, and of late, a lot of people are getting the degree. I would encourage you, though, no matter what you guys try for, uh, be it career technical ed or you transfer, but at the community college, that I recommend that you get an AS at the minimum. You go work for a municipality, you go work for the city or the county or the state, they will pay you from day one for that degree. You'll get 1 or 2 step raise. It's automatic, and that's pretty much guaranteed for state and federal jobs, city jobs also, because it's commensurate. Your salary is usually commensurate on skill level and education. So you can get 1 or 2 steps just by getting your degree. And it may not seem like much, but over a lifetime, 30 years of a job or 20 years of a job, and you get 1 or 2 step raise from the beginning, it'll be thousands of dollars by the time you finish. So I highly recommend that you get a degree. You don't have to like all the classes that you take. You just need to finish. And uh, all I ask is if you take the welding class, that you come and you try, and we'll show you the best that we can in order to get you guys going. And if you want to pursue a career in welding, that'd be awesome. If you don't, that would be okay too. At least you tried welding and had that experience. A lot of people don't get to have that experience, but I think you'll find that it's a lot of fun. And maybe you won't do it as a career, like I said, but you'll have that experience, and maybe you can do a little welding on the side or help somebody.
Well, I don't have a question. I just want to add something. So again, I work with all the trades, and welding is something that's permeating just about every trade, even the carpenters, sheet metal workers, and it's going through everything. And so, if you have that skill set, and you want to go into it, you're not sure if you start taking these classes and you like it, and then you want to go into a specific trade, you can use those skills. As a matter of fact, some individuals have gone on to become the welding instructors because of that very specific skill. So all the trades right now are using it. And again, it's like even the carpenters, and people go to carpenters. Yes, if you notice, they're using a lot of metal now in the structure of their buildings. So Welding is something that's a super, super excellent skill to have.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
I want to take your class. How much welding will I do in the beginning class?
You will do a lot.
Okay.
So, you know, the way we have our lab set up right now under COVID, though, we're running 4 days a week for about 5 weeks. So, you know, that's what 4 times 3 is. We do 15 hours a week. I mean, excuse me, 12 hours a week times the 5 weeks. So, you know, that's like 60 hours of lab. And that's in alignment with what we do with the regular semester. Normally we run 2 days a week and we go to full 15 weeks, but because of COVID, we've come to a compact schedule so that you guys can have your own booth. You go in there, you weld. I will come by and help you, and you will get a lot of hands-on time, a lot of arc time is what we call it, so that you can learn that. In addition to the welding processes, we also do oxyacetylene and plasma cutting. Plasma cutting, we'll just try it out for a day. But for oxy-fuel cutting, we actually spend a significant amount of time on that so that you can get somewhat proficient at cutting with a torch. So the hands-on part is actually a lot. And if you go to our webpage, I have posted all the PPE that's required. And, you know, if you can't buy a helmet, that's okay. We can provide one for you that you can use through a semester. But the rest of the equipment, you really don't want to borrow someone else's, like goggles or stuff like that. So you have to get that. But if you have problems getting equipment, let us know. We'll work something out. Things like respirators and those kind of things. The respirators themselves we can provide. We have a stockpile of those we bought during the pandemic so that students would definitely have protection in our lab.
I have a question. Is this a morning program, evening program, or both?
We have both. We have afternoon, actually. We usually run in a 2 to 5 time slot and a 6 to 9 at night time slot. We're actually expanded our hours a little bit. We're running 2 to 5:30 and then 6 to 9:30. So we're going to get plenty of welding time. And those slots, even though they're compacted down, it's good because the setup and cleanup is always 10 or 15 minutes every day. So by compacting on schedule, you actually get even more welding time because you don't have to do setup and shut down like twice we normally run. So, you know, that's an extra 20 minutes right there just because of the compact schedule. So students seem to like it though, because we go in and we go out very quickly. And it's actually possible for you to take 3 classes next semester during the same time period, or at night you can vary whatever. But we have 3 different sessions, and the first 5 weeks, the next 5 weeks, and the last 5 weeks. So you guys can come and take 3 classes this semester or next semester if you want to try it. But at the minimum, just take the introductory class and try it. I think as an experience, it's something that you should try. I think everybody should try welding. And those people that like to work with their hands, this is a good opportunity to try something where manual manipulation is the name of the game for us, right? We do not teach you how to use a machine. We teach you how to manipulate a machine. So it's very different from, like, say, using a bandsaw or a table saw, like in woodworking. It is very much an art, but like I said, it's very fun too. So give it a shot, give it a try. That's all I can say, is that you'll have a good time when you do it.
So what is the background of the people that usually come to the shop? And I'm asking mainly because I know that you're an engineer. Is there a trend that you see within welding?
Not really. Right now, we have a lot of students. Unfortunately, our age peak is actually a little higher. I would like to get it a little lower, but like this semester, I had a high school student that took 3 classes from us and was going to go on to a 4-year. but really enjoy the program. And then I have other students that are retired and coming after. They've worked a career and they want to do some stuff as hobbies. And then I have a lot of people that really want to get into welding of some sort. The problem is most people don't know the kind of areas that you can use welding. And the welding fabricator is probably, in at least for my area that I teach, the GTAW is really popular. A lot of people that do shielded metal arc, for instance, need that requirement. They need to get certified. So that means that we give them a standardized tests and we follow some kind of code, and uh, that satisfies a requirement for a union, and that union is like the mechanics union for the port. Um, but we have other people that have worked or are working a lot of fabrication jobs. There are other jobs where they make seats for Lear Siegler, or they make seats for Tesla, and all they do is MIG welding all day, and it's a 9 to 5 job, and it works out really well. Other people that work for like PG&E, they're actually super busy, and they travel a lot, and they make a lot of money. But it's good when you're young, but as you get older, it's a little harder, or if you have a family, because you're away from home so often. So they rotate out, right? You get people in there for like 4 or 5 years, and then they move on to other parts of PG&E. Um, but there are other people that just love it, and that's all they do is gas pipeline welding, as an example. But you can work indoors, you can work outdoors. If you like really clean, sterile environments, like TIG welding is going to be the ticket. Um, but you might have to go where the jobs are, and that just depends, right? They don't need a lot of welders in the TIG welding. TIG welding is a very small part of the welding portfolio of jobs, but like wire feed is everywhere. It's very prolific, and that's because the efficiency is really high. And for every welding job, 80% of the cost is attributed to labor. So if you can weld well and you can do it efficiently, you're it's very high value added, but they want high efficiency. So processes that can do things very quickly are the ones that are up and coming.